Hello and welcome everyone. Bringing up another round here of the Sampsoid GT3 Championship. I'm your host, Attore, also known as Khalid Ramadan. And yeah, we are already mentioned last week, past the halfway point. So starting to run down the calendar. And what better way to start off this rundown of the remaining rounds with a fantastic 45 minutes of Monza action. As we bring up the calendar. As you can see here, round 7 of the championship, with only 4 more to go afterwards in the remaining weeks, as we close out both the championship and the iRacing 26 Season 3 championship. I've got some lovely rounds coming up. If we take a focus at that, we can see 45 minutes for pretty much all of the remaining rounds, except for the endurance special at Daytona, which will be 1 hour. And what else is left to say except to want to go racing? The season sign-ups did close at 3 o'clock today, British time. So there is unfortunately no more space for people wanting to join. But if you are at all interested in getting involved with all of the action, there is the community Discord as usual, as well as kind of all the discussion within the community about races, iRacing, and anything to do with pretty much anything. If you're at all interested, there is the Discord command with the invite link. And yeah, we'll continue on with looking at, the championship standings. And we do have a lot on offer here. So looking at Pro first, we've got Hendrik Strand, who was on a tear early on in the season with 2 wins. Has managed to take a little bit of a backseat to Nikolai Mjelde, who currently is occupying the 5th spot in the championship and roaring up the standings. And then a few other common names that we see at the front, especially in the last few rounds. Rich Warmingham and Adam Wilson-Ware, Tommy Kallio-Kujala have all been there or thereabouts. And looking further at some of the other championship standings, we've got the Pro-Am class as well. Jamie Logue leading by a nice around 8 points over Danny Gold, Wild Things Racing teammates. Jon-Viggo Larsen, as well as Morten Dale and Jari Luomajoki. Jon-Viggo Larsen himself on a bit of a tear, having won 3 of the last 4 rounds. So expect to see a lot of action from his end. And then finally, we've got the AM class as well, which led by Christopher Newby, Anthony Young, Curtis Krumel, and Ken Buchan. Buchan himself winning the last week's round at Road America by a whopping, I think, 20 seconds it was. So very impressive performance. And then Steve Ewing rounding out the top 5. So we're just waiting for things to get to a bit of a close. We've had an hour of running of practice already, as we have the countdown bringing us to a close. Some pretty close timings at the top of each of the classes. And without further ado, we will be looking at qualifying. Just waiting for everything to switch over. And yeah, we've got a good 36 cars on track, I believe. So pretty average attendance, especially given the last few rounds as well. So we'll see who decides to go out on track first. Let's grab Paul Fanning in the McLaren, if my eyes haven't failed me. The Pro-Am driver. Lovely green livery there. Flat cap racing. And I've had the pleasure of racing at Monza this weekend already. GTEC 3 hours of Monza was a very interesting experience. I usually associate this track kind of with multi-class, but the Slipstream Fest does lend itself quite well to the GT3 class, so some good action expected here. And as much as we can consider kind of the keys to the game, really Speed is king at the Temple of Speed here, especially with the iRacing bop being in a certain way, especially in fixed, which I believe off the top of my head has been a Mustang fixed class. Open does leave a little bit more wiggle room for people to put the strengths of their car to use. As I mentioned before, speed is king. We've got Paul making his way through the Ascari chicane. Very fierce and complex. Different challenge for different drivers. And Paul kind of bringing his tyres up to temp. So important to try to make the most of the time left in qualifying. And as usual, we do have the ability to have multiple camera angles of use to us here. So hopefully we should be able to bring that up for you. Alright, so we've got Paul Fanning starting his lap here. Nice healthy car on the first turn. Really got to make as much of that as you can. And then round. Curva Grande, not much of a corner in most cars. Then heading down to second chicane. Got a spot your turning point all over the first. And then driver's preference, how much you really want to cut. Lesmo's 1. Quite a deceptive corner and exit as well. Don't want to get that off track. Watch it turn in on Lesmo's 2. Some people go all over the green. Others aim to just avoid the curb. We're heading down to Ascari. We can see the bridge passing overhead for the old oval. Derek Lynch saying some purple sectors as well, so that's good to see. Healthy bit of curb there. And does he take the curb here? He does. Doesn't unsettle the car. Nowhere close to an off track, so this is looking like it should be a good lap. And Parabolica we go. I believe it was given a different name at some point, but it will always be Parabolica to me. And then a nice wide line rather than the preferred short line. And there goes Paul. Fastest in Pro-Am. Steve DeRose managing to get pole 4 Pro as well. Curtis Krumel managing to set a 48 flat. That's very good to see from all of the drivers involved. We're just going to grab to the pole driver in Pro at the moment. The 46.5 just beaten by Nikolai Mield. The first Pro to go down below a 46. Very good pace shown here. And let's grab the onboard here to get a sense of speed here. Staying on board with Rich Warmingham. Gets wide out to sea there. All over the curbs. Gets a bit of a wiggle on. Keeps it going. All sorts of sliding and tire noise being made here. Tracking out as much as he there. That 1X is on the touch of the gravel, really. So he's got to find another half second to try and catch up to Nikolai. Really got to make snap decisions in the middle of Ascari. Looks like Rich is on a good time here, hopefully. Watch it turn in. We've seen so many cars just snap loose both on turn and on power out. Very narrow line. It was the line I was expecting for Paul Fanning to take. No off track here. And what do we know? 45.8. That gives him pro pole. Does Nikolai have a reply? He's about to finish up his lap. Just grab the TV board here. Ooh, the 46F. So he definitely had a mistake somewhere. We've got other drivers setting purple sectors. Anthony Young on AM pole, so that's good to see. Let's bring up the gaps as well so we can kind of get a sense of kind of lap times people are doing. Eight minutes to go. See how much more people have left in the tank. And grab someone that's about to start their lap. We've got Wayne McNichol. Half a second back of Jon Viggo Larsen in Pro-Am. Pretty tidy line. We've seen so many drivers get greedy and all up in the gravel. Ever since iRacing introduced that patch that makes the gravel slow the cars down, it is very noticeable at a track like this coming out of the first complex. Wayne keeping it tidy. Simon Andre Livingston looks like he's on for a pretty good time here. You see in the bottom on the qualifying preview, he goes to third in Pro. Still on board here with Wayne McNichol. Very tidy exit of Lesmos 2. Kind of looking at the paraphernalia around the track, does feel like, in my eyes anyway, we are kind of due an upgrade. And a lot of changes to the track, especially the tree line surrounding the circuit, as that got massively reduced in some, I believe it was floods a while back. But the track still is fearsome and beloved by all. Here we've got McNichol, you can see in the qualifying preview. Richard Curry with a black flag somehow in qualifying. Coming up to line, I'm not expecting an improvement here yet, well short. Do we have anybody else on any improvements? Leander Gabrielsen managed to improve by about half a second. Still quite a ways back. Let's grab someone else, perhaps someone that's about to start a lap as well. Steve DeRose about to finish his. The Bodger and Badger driver. So here we go. Good middle few sectors. But it doesn't look like an improvement, so he's just going to have to look to get going again. And he decides to prove me wrong. And stops it in the middle of the track. Jon Viggo Larsen managing to get an improvement for pole as well as Rich Warmingham as well. So that's very good to see. And he also pulls off to the side. So are we running out of laps? Grab Jamie Logue. Wild Things Racing. From a few times in the Road America broadcast. Really good sector towards the end there. So can he save this lap? Doesn't look like it. And I think we've hit that point of not too many improvements. He still manages to get third in Pro-Am, as he also parks up. Marcus McNeil is on a very good lap here. The Shed 74 car. And here we go. Coming out of Parabolica. That Merc looking well and truly planted. Not quite. Marcus Neal manages to jump Paul Fanning, who we were on board with earlier. He also pulls off to the side, so I think we don't have too much else left, really. Got a few cars coming to a slow stop here. Peter Black, last car that is setting a time. And the Gabrielsen, you can ignore that, because he's going dead slow in there to the sector. Got your braking zone. The chopper cam, if not interrupted by the trees, gives us a nice view of just how much space this car is taking up on track, on the racing line there. Runs it as narrow as he dare, and into black manages to improve to 10th in Pro-Am. And I'm pretty sure that should be everyone. Yeah, and we are done with qualifying. We've got Gabrielsen on track, but not much else going on. I assume he should be technically on for it. Oh, gets a bit of a wiggle there. Really got to watch your approach on that last curb on the left there. Yeah, and the mini sector showing orange kind of shows that. Well, I guess he is on for a lap. We'll see how this goes. Really manages to fine walk that white line. It does seem like he's quite short. Oh, never mind. 46, so that improves him about 2 positions, I guess, from the P10 that he had. And he's going to keep going. So that's good to see. So we'll keep on this cam whilst we bring up the rest of the standings. Let's bring up the overall view. We've got the top 8 of all pro drivers. Nikolai just about beating out Rich Warmingham in pro by about 0.08 of a second, which naturally, with only the 1 decimal on the display here, means it looks like they're tied, but they're not. 0.2 behind Simon Andre Livingston, Steve DeRose, Otto, Tony Asumanyemi, Adam, and then Leander Gabrielsen, who are on board with. And then we've got the Pro-Am pole of Jon Viggo Larsen, and then a peppering of Pro and Pro-Am drivers. Henry Parala splitting the top 2 in Pro-Am between Jon Viggo and Danny. Aaron Broderick, Carsten Hafdal, Tommy Jala, Derek Lidge, Jamie Logue, and there we go, Leander saving it quite well. And the key litter is about as good of a position as you can park it. Right. Continue to have a look at the standings. Jamie Logue, 3rd in Pro-Am. Then we've got Mick Bachmann, Wayne McNichol, James Braid. Anders, Rick, Nathan, Yari, Anthony Young in bronze pole. About... yeah, with a 47.2. And that is literally 300ths ahead of Ken Buchan. That's very close fighting. And then Richard Curry just behind as well. All within a 10th of each other. So some very competitive racing in AM at the moment. Definitely we'll have to keep our eye on them as the race progresses. And then further down, we've got a few more drivers. We'll jump towards the back of the field. We've got Julian Mink, Marcus Neal, Paul Fanning, Curtis Krumel in 5th place in AM, Christopher Newby, Steve Ewing, Robert Van Horn, and Darren J. Reynolds. All right. And just in case you forgot, this is Monza. As you can see, the track map, we've already seen it in action in this qualifying session and the little spiel before, in terms of it being just the temple of speed. I will have to admit, not my own favorite track, but yeah, every time I do race, it does actually turn out to be quite entertaining. So hopefully it will be entertaining here on the broadcast. SimSpec Media. If you're here from Sampsoid or any of the other championships run on the broadcast, I do welcome you here. We've got more races coming up as well. We've got Interlagos next week in this very championship. We've got Jettas as well for the GRL Jetta series. And that will be at Langley Oval tomorrow. So that should be very interesting action. And then Phoenix Sim Racing also giving us a little hi, first member in chat. And yeah, that will be starting up in a few weeks as well. So I'll be looking forward to that. And we've already got some cars gridding up on track. Short formation lap here. So we'll take our time to kind of just walk through all of the cars on display. And having had a look at the chat as well, Livingston needs a demotion. I guess you could argue that is the case, yeah. Livingston at the moment is... Assuming he was pro, wasn't he? So Simon Andre Livingston, P3. I might not agree with you there. But alas, got the standings there. At least a very fetching picture there on display. So that should be very good to see. Right. Just waiting for things to kick off. My timer has already started, which is a bit disappointing because clearly our timer only goes up once it's green flag. I'll continue to have a look through the chat. Good old Logie with a good let's go. Lovely to see. And I can only bring up the standings so often in the broadcast, so if you're at all interested, there is the standings link in chat. And let's wait for things to get underway. Right. Do bear with me as I will try to set up our usual dual cam. It was somewhat unavailable during the qualifying session, but we are underway as the cars look to try and get their tires up and ready. We've seen some absolute oopsies in various streams and videos of the Monza IMSA series where a lot of guys have just lost it on pacing. So gotta be careful we don't get too enthusiastic about getting these things up to temp. Let's gotta be very sure and hopeful that no one actually runs to the back of each other. I'd hate for people to get damaged before we even get underway. The back of the grid getting caught up. Nice and compact. The pace car having nothing to do with this weaving nonsense. So we've got, yep, I can confirm we've got 40 drivers, 2 of which are starting in pit lane. But Leander giving that suspension a good old test, but we'll cut back to the leader. And we've got Pro on top here, and your Pro-Am at the bottom as Nikolai is away. The other getting a little bit of a jump there on Sibin Andre Livingston. Dunvigo Larsen in the middle of nowhere again. He's surrounded by pros with 3 wide, a little bit further behind. Porsche's gone 3 wide. So make sure that no one's stepping on each other's toes, and it seems like all is well. Look a bit further back at the bottom of your screen. I think everyone has gone through relatively clean. Oh, Robert Van Horn is off. Robert Van Horn did have a moment, and he's dropped. No, it's Leandro Gabriels that's dropped by a few places, but again, he had a pit lane start. Not too surprising. Rialdo already running away, so we're just going to cut back to Tony Asumanyemi. He's dropped a few positions. He's dropped 1. Henry ahead of him has gone up a few positions as well. Aaron Broderick is giving it a good fight. So that's very good to see. Side by side with Adam Wilson Ware. Cut to the full screen here. We'll see how things manage to continue on here. Build up the intervals again. And action everywhere. Pick your poison. Probably the most colourful car here at the front of the grid. And we'll see how things continue. We've got Steve. I believe that's him side by side. Oh, we've got Logue, I believe, that's off in the background. We've got a few more offs. What is going on here? If that's Nathan, is that Nathan Harris? It is. So we're just going to cut to a replay really quickly and see what happened to them. So coming round, watch your, just the rear got loose, straight to the cameraman, and he's going to have to wait. does the right thing and gets out of the way. Meanwhile, Leandro Gabriels was crashed. Adam Wilson-Ware went up 3 positions just now. This was at the same time that Nathan went off. So let's try and grab the replay of Adam Wilson-Ware managing to get 2 positions in one go. So what's happening here? So Adam Wilson-Ware, the qualifier car on the very inside of the track. What a move! Ooh. Oh. Elbows out, I guess. Very good move. And yeah, you get past, and it's just going to be a further and further fight. He does manage to get overtaken back by, I believe, is that Tony? It is. Yep, that's Tony Asumaniemi. And he keeps the position, so that is a good point for us to cut back to live. Still on board with Nathan Harris. We'll grab the closest fight we've got here on track. Mick Bachmann, the pro car, currently fighting side by side with Wayne McNichol. And Wayne manages to get out of the way and seek the position. They're not in class. And I think this is probably the first point of the race where cars are pretty much line astern. We've got Danny Gold getting overtaken by Karsten Havdal. We can see in the battle box. We've got a nice sequence of Pro-Am, Pro-Am, so on and so forth. Down for quite a few good positions. Nikolai extending his gap at the front of the field. We've got an off, I believe that's Rob Badger. Oh, and he's well off. What's happened to him here? I've not got a class listed for him, which is quite interesting here. But whichever class he's in, he's right at the back. So we're going to cut back to some fighting happening. Curtis Krumel side by side here with Nathan Harris. Nathan Harris keeps his foot in, still keeps his foot in, and managed to get a very good exit on onto the Curva Grande. Such a good exit, he even blinks out of existence for a little while. Very good move. You see so many times people take that defensive line, you see the outside car really forcing the issue, and then they just decide to tuck in. All is well. Paul Fanning at the back in the green car, giving chase to Steve Ewing. There's very good fighting going on here. We've got Gregory Scheimer getting harassed and chased down viciously by Morten Dale. Morten Dale is Norwegian, so I'm starting to think Dale is probably not the right way to say this. But if anybody wants to correct me, they can. Going through Ascari. You see with the onboard here, if you can, get a good idea of just how close they're running to each other. Nothing too much going on here. Need to do some very impromptu overlay work. Gregory Scheimer now onto the back of Julian Mink. Side by side. Ahead of the braking, but inside line for Julian. Oh, Gregory goes well deep. You gotta watch your rejoin. Dead stop on turn 2, and that allows Danny to go by. Apologies, that was Jamie Logue, I believe. Yes, it was. And he went so slow that the game thought he crashed, so oof. Side by side here. Jamie getting a very big exit here, so that's very good to see. That's managed to resolve itself. Got a fight further up on the field. This is just within the top 10. Adam Wilson-Ware at the head of this train. 2.5 seconds back from Henry Parala in P5. So we see how this train managed to resolve itself. So many business decisions that have to be made on a track like this. They don't want to lose touch of the leaders here, but surely if the leaders are setting much faster and pretty much inattainable lap times, then whatever positions you're in is the best you're going to get. So give it a good fight. Robert Van Horn is off, so we're going to have a look at what happened to him. This is heading into Ascari. Robert Van Horn, the blue and yellow Mercedes here, the DTM livery. Oh, and he loses it. Let's keep out the wall. He does, so he's going to have to watch that rejoin. I think he is at the back of the field, so he doesn't have to wait too long. He managed to keep it out of the way for everyone else. Ooh, I believe that's Aaron Broderick looking for blood here. In the McLaren, giving chase on Asumaniemi. Aaron Broderick tries it around the outside, gives it a little touch. Steve managing to stick his nose in as well. How is this going to resolve itself? He's going to have to send it well deep. Stays alongside. He's going to have to give exit. Or space on exit. Also more contact. More contact. Ooh, you have to turn it twice. Was that him saving it or a little bit more? Either way, Steve DeRose goes through. And does Steve DeRose get another position here? Oh, and more contact. Outside of Ascari would have been an inspired call. Side by side through Ascari. Oh, and he gets hip checked and he goes wide. And he spins. And who does he collect? Was that Tony? No, it wasn't. Ooh. What's happened? Steve DeRose is still collecting himself and he's gonna be rightly miffed. They looked like they had it sorted until they didn't. That was something in the making, I think it was. We'll have to catch it later. I think Morton Dale might have been collected in that. Unless he had a send off, so he goes for a big send. Ooh! And that is going to be some severe damage right on the racing line. Does everybody see him coming? And he managed to roll back just fine. I don't think he would have stayed right there. But he's managed to keep it going just fine. Right, let's grab a replay of the incident. So side by side, we've got Steve DeRose. And Andy pretty much was on the power, so I don't think he had anywhere else to go. He didn't collect anybody else, so that's really cool. What a fight we've got going on here. So Steve DeRose managed to get into a bit of a fight. And let's see if we can go back to the earlier fight as well, and possibly grab a chopper cam. And that tends to shed light on the fight. They were side by side for so long. Steve goes through. And given Aaron was fighting for so much, that allowed Steve to get a good run going. And then there was contact here, which I was very surprised by because he was already up on the white line. Decides to fight around the outside. That compromises him a lot. And then the Audi here, I don't quite know which Audi this was. This might have been Toby Kallio-Jar, yes it was. And then they went 3 wide. We missed this in trying to grab the incident. I believe that's Karsten Hafdal. It might have been, yeah, the RA SimSport 3 car. Yes it was. And they were side by side for a while as well. So we missed all this in the midst of the incident that was happening. Definitely want to be looking at the steward's call after this. So much action that we've missed. So stay with this a little bit. Steve Rubino managed to get into an incident. The car exiting the pits here. Definitely want to stay out of that. That seemed all good to me. And that's fine. And then one more replay. This is Steve Rubino, Flat Cap Racing 3. Oh, we've got somewhere else going off. Is that a Wild Things car? I think it is. Yes, it is. Oof. And he's lost his rearing, and he tows. So that's very, very unfortunate. Innocent mistake. Alright. Still on board with Steve DeRose. So much action happening at the same time. Let's grab some other fights that are happening elsewhere as well for you. A little bit further back, we've got Danny Gold in a fight with Marcus Neal. So let's bring up the halves screen. Oh. So yeah, pick your poison. Steve DeRose currently giving chase. Ken Buchan ahead of him. I believe that might be the blue flag Porsche in the back of shot. Gets out the way. Steve DeRose right up to the back of Ken Buchan. Currently leading for bronze at the moment. Side by side. And Ken gets out the way. What does that leave us then? The fight further back, Danny Gold. Bring up the class standings again. Danny Gold currently giving Leander Gabrielsen a bit of a run here. Is he gonna try to is he going to get news done on him by Richard Curry? Marcus Neal on the back of shot there. Just peeked out for a little second, but thought better of it. Seems like things have actually resolved themselves here. Right, let's grab some other cameras elsewhere. Further back. Steve DeRose still giving it a good go. Tony Asmaniemi is half a second back. Casted half down ahead of him. Close on that. Derek Lynch just shy of the top 10 in Pro. Let's bring up my group standings. There we go. He's got the Pro Am leader ahead of him on track. Cut the camera there. There we go. So we've got the Pro Am leader following the top 10 in Pro as Rick Biddersley behind sets the fastest lap in Pro-Am. He's decided to put the hammer down. With half an hour left to go in this race. Still a lot to play for, even with all the action that we've had so far. We can also bring up the lap times for Don Wiggle here. We're back at the of Pro. So, Jan Wiggo Larsson does have quite a bit of pace in the tank. So if he can put it down and put some more pros between himself and Wayne McNichol behind in second place in Pro-Am. I'll take the camera to the fastest Pro-Am we saw, with this in the back shot. Rather than up the Cow Mustang. Some cars going off elsewhere. I don't think there's too much of an issue. And if there are any requests for anything, if you want to see shoutouts, etc., you give me a shout. Plenty of time for people to get featured. Try to give everyone their due space on the broadcast. It's a black. One such person who is in except that gap has eaten out a little bit more. Nick Bachmann, Raven Creek Racing in the Porsche, getting chased by, I believe that's James Braid, Brom Racing McLaren. Right, yep. A few positions gained here. In order to try and prove that point, let's bring up the gains and losses on the main standings as well.
Sure thing, man.
Keep the rows at the back of shot. also he had that insane off at Safari, so he's lost 10 positions. The top 3 are as they were. Henry Parala, one of the big gainers in Pro, P5, he gained 5 positions, and being blessed with a rather big gap ahead of him and behind him. So it's an opportunity to put down some decent laps and see whether he can put the hammer down and catch up to the front 4. Again, can bring up the lap time comparisons. Otto in P4 does have considerably more pace. Oh, we've got off somewhere. Is this Darren Reynolds? It is. So what's happened to him? I don't have him listed as having had a moment, so he just went off after he's come out of the pit. So this is just cold tyres, I'm guessing. Yeah, that worked. Not like it. Costa is getting a little bit of a fight for P8, I believe. Side by side, got black flag for Richard Curry and Am. Interesting. I don't think I've seen an Audi at all this season. I swear it feels like a brand new entry here. Oh well. Tommy keeping it going. That is an overtake on Castle. See, Castle has needed an attack to apply. Curtis Krumel further back has crashed. A few got these really black flags. I'm assuming they're slowdowns, but we've got drive-throughs being designed or handed out here. And, well, strong arm of justice being wielded, I guess. Tommy looks like he got a bit compromised here on exit. Let's bring up the dual cam here to get a good sense of where Costin is approaching. It does seem like he is losing touch a little bit on Ascari. A little bit of a Scandinavian action here. And a Mustang in the back of shot getting all loose coming out of Ascari. A little bit of brake application by Tommy in a rather late stage of Parabolica. But he's not going to be complaining. Looks like he's managed to keep that gap where it was. We've got 3 cars exiting the pits here. I believe that was Curtis Krumel. Tommy managing to stay ahead. Most overtakes that we're seeing at the moment in the events log are from the AM cars at the moment. I might take the chance to cut to them, as I don't think Carsten has any immediate move in the offing. We've got a fight further back. Nathan Harris right up to the back of Danny Gold for the top 8. There he goes side by side, a little bit of contact as well. Danny Gold opts to take the racing line. Nathan Harris keeps it going. Mink just behind him, right into the back of him. And that allows Paul Fanning to get right up on them as well. So this has now become a 4-way fight. All drivers here are Pro-Am. So it's worth keeping our eye on this train, as Danny Gold does manage to eke out a little bit of a gap. We'll grab the nose cam here of Paul Fanning as we're looking ahead to Julian, just ahead of the track. Interesting fact in that I'm pretty sure I saw Julian Mink mentioning currently the highest incident point rating per lap. So, do with that information what you will. We've got a fight elsewhere. Jan Viggo Larsen is going back and forth with Tony Asomediebi. Oh, we've got... Who's that going deep? Was that Julian? It was. What's happened there? I was too busy Oh, there we go. What a slide. Good save. I've seen so many drivers overcorrect and just slam straight into the barriers. Kind of like Charles Leclerc all those years ago. He's managed to keep it all together. A few guys going in and out of the pits. Steve DeRose next to the pits just behind. Yep, the Porsche just in shot. Apologies, that was the McLaren. Trying to give people the due credit. We've not really had a look at the leader here. Nikolai Mjelde making a strong case for trying to catch up in the championship standings. As the leader, actually anybody ahead of him on track will be blue flag traffic. That's Morton Dale, P13, 33rd overall. That's another RWA Sim Sport car, so he's going to get the team orders to get out of the way, and he does. And I'm going to look at Morton Dale. There was his incident earlier. This was earlier. We saw this side by side. That was Julian Mink making his way past. And we saw this where he managed to at least stay out of the way for everybody else, so I'll save him the blushes of PG that we play any further. And pretty much everybody has spaced out on the track quite well. As you can see, most of the pros making their way in and out of the Les Mills 1. Leader being shown as having taken a little bit of gravel. He won't complain, he's setting quite stellar lap times here. Let's bring up the lap times to prove that point. Well ahead, saying the fastest lap 2 laps ago. And Buchan is shown as being on pit exit, so what's happened to him? Yep, so it is that pit sequence time. He's still in the lead of the race. Ahead of Anthony Young, who's just exiting the pits behind. And who's that next to him? Leander Gabrielsen. Christopher Newby in third is listed as having a black flag, so was this speeding? It might have been. Simon Andre Livingston, currently highest placed driver, being shown as being in pit lane. There we go. Followed in by most of the Pro GT3 field, and we see how things play out. Bring up the pit lane time as well. I'm going to keep that up as well on your screen just so we can get a good sense of who gets good exits here. There he goes. Simon Andre Livingston is off. He's being chased by Otto Hirtala. JB Loeb thundering past there. Very good pit lane times there for Otto. We've got Adam Wilson-Ware. Aaron Broderick behind with a very short time, so we see how these guys merge. It's Krumel there in the Porsches fitting in. The 666, I think. A few more cars making their way out. Daddy Gold is here. P9. That's Ken Backen just getting on ahead of him. Nathan Harris exits the pits. Dan Gabrielsen goes past. Anthony Young in the Ferrari. And then we've got, I believe that's Marcus Neal looking at the pits as well. Julian Mink right behind him. He's fighting with Robert Horn on pit exit. Leader Nikolai Mjelde is in the pits as well. Rob Badger making his way out. Morton Dale on track, I believe. There he is. Yep, that's the McLaren. And then we've got the Mustang of Gregory Scheinman, featuring too much, other than that one time earlier back. And then the leader, declined me Aldo. There he is. I don't think Rich Warmingen will have much of a reply. There was such a considerable gap. And they headed into the pits. There we go. Currently separated by the Porsche of Richard Curry at the bottom of the shot. There we go. Lala. Porsche. Derek Lynch coming out to the pits as well. Adam Wilson, where? There he goes. Just keep the focus on Derek Lynch here, as we've got a lot of pros streaming past, and we see how they managed to merge. And Viggo Larsen managed to just find Mick Bachmann, slots in behind Wayne McNichol, the Mustang, third behind Rick Bittersley. He stays ahead of James Braid. And that was a relatively peaceful pit shuffle. I was expecting a few more fights directly on the exit. But that pit-stop shuffle managed to play itself just fine. Right. Let's get our normal intervals back up again. Nikolai managing to gain few seconds, I believe, because that lead is up to 4. I don't think Rich will might be stretching that 3.9 to a 4, so to say. And currently Ken Bucket side by side out of Curva Grande. He manages to slot in behind Leandro Gabrielsi. Both RAA SimSport cars. Gabrielsi is currently 8 places down from where he qualified with that pit lane start. Definitely want to see if he managed to give a reason for why he had to go for the pit lane start, because he was in a very good position. It was like 8, the maths is correct. Right, Derek Lynch getting right up on, I believe that's the McLaren of Jan-Viggo Larsen. Yes, it is. And I think rather it was Jan-Viggo Larsen doing the move on Derek Lynch as Derek Lynch went off. So was this? Yeah, so you can see that Jan-Viggo Larsen behind him. So Derek escapes across the kitty litter through the Ascari front garden. And then has to serve a slowdown, I'm pretty sure, unless he's already served it. And that lets Jan-Viggo Larsen through. This is not for his position though. That does give Jan-Viggo Larsen the top 10 overall. And Derek Lynch now is splitting the top 2 in Pro from each other. So we'll keep that fight in view for a little bit. If anybody's interested to keep an eye on the gaps themselves, there is the timing page available in YouTube chat with 15 minutes to go. You won't be able to blame me if there's a gap that you're actively watching. And manage to follow the timings yourself on your end. And much shout out to SDK Gaming for giving us the ability to share that data with you. Further behind, we've got falling off. The enigma of attack, but that seemed to have resolved itself just fine. Leader in acres of space. James Braid being chased to Rick Bittersley. Still see the hand tracks of Derek Lynch across the gravel. It's not full class. Bring up the Pro Class standings. We have a close look at where things are developing for them. Relatively close lap times, which I think is just a effect of Monza pack racing, really. A little bit of a fight further ahead. Derek Lynch getting back past Jan-Viggo Larsen. And that has put Jan-Viggo Larsen right in the clutches of Wayne McNichol. And has got to be smelling blood in the water. As we grab the onboard cam as well. So we've got the Pro-Am standings in the top left here. cam showing us a fight on track at the moment. We've got Wayne McNichol, and that is not third place behind him. That Porsche is the 11 Pro of Mick Bachmann. And Jon-Viggo Larsen, probably his priority at the moment is 12 minutes to go. Keep the slipstream of Derek Lynch if possible. Though of course if Derek Lynch happens to have another moment, that will put Wayne right onto the back of Wayne right onto the back of Jon. This is on a knife edge here in terms of how it can go, and as always, Rick Winnesley, he was one of the fastest Pro-Am drivers in that first half of the race before the pit stops. To black and past Gary Yoki. Yes, he's finished, so apologies if I've butchered the pronunciation. Right. As always, Constantina effect gets really close on the braking, especially the middle part of the chicane. Nothing to do here. We've got a fight elsewhere, so we'll just pick that up as well. Aaron Broderick. The hurry up here. Rick Binnesley on the back of James Braid. Now he's got a business decision to make, as he decides to force an overtake to give him first dibs on any other fight. Mick Bachmann looked like he apparently went off by thinking that was his high track and gravel just down. Steve Ewing gets past Christopher Newby for 5 bronze. Black flag for Ken Scribble, so that might be some kind of lane infringement, possibly. We've got a three-way fight at the moment here. Jamie Lowe in the back of this 3-car train. He gets past Yari, who obliges and lets him go. It's P6 for Jamie. And surely, if you can do it once, you can do it again. P5 of Peter Black just ahead of him. 10 minutes to go. Further back, bronze has managed to spread itself out considerably. As you can see by the gaps there at the bottom of your screen. Ken Buchan in the RWA SimSport 5 car, ahead of Anthony Young. So the bronze driver is as good as it got. So Pro-Am and Am giving us as close a fight as possible for the top of class honours. Wayne McNichol right up to the back of Jon-Viggo Larsen. So I'll try and bring that one on screen as well with our dual cam here. So we've got our Am fight at the top, and we've got our Pro-Am fight at the bottom here. If Nikolai Mieldo decides to do the broadcast a solid and lose that 4-second gap he has to Rich, then I'll be in a real problem trying to get all 3 fights on screen. We've got Christopher Newby having crashed apparently, so that's going to lose him a few positions. Aaron Broderick loses a position, and he goes down 8, though it does seem like a bit of a back and forth at the moment. Wayne McNichol tries to go around the outside of Jon-Viggo Larsen. I don't think that will work unless Jon obliges and lets him keep that outside line. And surely Wayne has taken the lead of the race, and that allows Mick Bachmann, the pro car, to pull alongside. So how will Jon deal with this? Half of one, half of the other. Defends well. And does he let Mick go? He does. Oh, and Wayne gets on the throttle too much, and he's got to watch that rejoin. Oh, he had his fight. He had his chance. He went for it. He worked for it. Now he goes all the way down to as well. Anders Utvik and Rick Binnersley made the most of that. Oh, it's so tough to see. It's so tough to see. Right, replay time, I believe. And we can manage to bring up the point where he went for that move. That was for, when we lost, that's P11 technically. Let's see what happened there. Jan Mikko Larsen. It was side by side. And really, they gave enough space. Jan played this perfectly. Defended enough, let me go, and then just Nickel just got on the power way too soon there. They're going to bring it on board as well to get a sense of just how quickly that went around on him. Here we go, on board. So we've got, remember, Jan on the inside, Mick even further in, and there we go. Great defense, has to slot in, and the, just got on the power too soon once he got down off the curb. And oof, at least his he managed to stop just in time. So that's very good to see. Tommy is meanwhile still fighting Aaron Broderick for P7, so we're going to try and cut to that as soon as we can. There we go. These guys have just gone back and forth for P7 non-stop. Adam Wilson-Ware has completely checked out. So bring up the lap times ahead. You can see just over the course of 2 laps, Adam has eked out a second and a bit. Let's bring up the fight if we can. So this was just before. So this is heading down Main Straight, side by side. Really good fighting. No contact. He does run it close. That prevents Tommy from turning in. Aaron Broderick keeps P7 there, so that's good racing. Christopher Newby making up some positions after the earlier incident. No other real close fights on track. Rick Binnersley right behind James Gray. He was one of the main beneficiaries of the spin from Wayne. He takes second place in Pro-Am. 5 minutes to go. He might concede the fight here to Jan, but with all the incidents that have happened, best thing you can do as a driver is to keep your foot in it, keep your pace. James Bray does seem to have the best of him in terms of pace. So just give it the best you got, maybe see if you can drag it up to Jan, but time is running short. Let's Krumel get past Van Horn. A few guys heading off into the pits. James Bray optically defend. Interesting to see. I would assume possibly let James Bray run off, let lose pace, but get your money's worth. Get some racing in. 4 minutes to go. Right. The pro field has completely sorted itself out. Applying now almost 5 seconds. Getting up to 5 seconds clear. Bronze still where they were. Not too much of a progress here. We've got the lap kind of like gaps in the course of the last 5 laps, and it's kind of tilted back and forth between 2 seconds and half a second. As close as it has been, Paul Fanning grabs a healthy bit of gravel. It's a black listers have gone off track as well. Lots of people dipping a wheel into the off tracks. I wouldn't be surprised if someone ends up getting a drive through right at the very end of the race. 3 minutes to go. This is our fight for and lead here at Monza. You can bring up the sort of lap times that people have to do it across the classes. You can see the front of Pro. With about high 45s, low to mid 46. Oh, I hear someone spinning. Assuming that was Nathan Harris, was it? Might have been. Yes, it was. Replay as well. So that car already looks loose. Oof, that was rough. Oh, what a rejoin! That's Paul Fanning. Oh, he was at the back of Silver. What a J-turn. That left rear looks low. Yes, it does. Yeah, that is looking very low. There, I see. It almost looks like a flat. Oof. Well, we heard the apology over the radio. I would assume that was Nathan. Right. We've got good old gaps again. Otto Itana is given the hurry up. Apologies, no, it was Carsten Havdal. Yes, Carsten Havdal. Right behind Tommy. Jigs inside. Tucks back in. One of the closest fights on track at the moment. And I'm going to assume this might be white flag. Nikolai doing his darn best to get another lap of action here at Monza. Oh, I thought he might have gone for it. He needs to stay there. Danny Gold managed to finally get past the Peter Black. P6 in Pro-Am. Just off the standings there. Does Carsten have something in him? Definitely going to bring up the leader at some point just in case this is white flag. I don't think it should be. Animal somewhere given the wave by. And let's go to our leader in our dual cam as well. It does look like there should be another lap of running here. Hopefully that will give Carsten another lap. Yeah, I think he's still going. Yeah, he's still going, so this is indeed one flag. And the timer runs out for us right here.
Thank you.
Aaron Broderick also being let through here. And we'll just bring the fight at the top of the screen, full focus. Give Nikolai his glory run at the end of the race, once he managed to actually get to the line. This is white flag here for the tail end of the top 10 here in Pro. Carsten being forced onto the outside. Does he dare to just pull all the way clear? Doesn't quite go for it. Rich is being shown as a yellow flag at the moment. Does lose quite a bit of time here to the leader. But nothing untoward. Our fighting arm seems to have resolved itself. This should be all good. Carsten still chasing that Audi. He must be getting lightheaded from the exhaust fumes here. How close he's been running right up on the bumper. As we go on board. And indeed, we've got the leader coming up to Parabolica at the moment. And I've run out of superlatives here to describe Nikolai's run. Took the lead from pole and never looked back. Nikolai wins Monza round 7 here in the GT3 Championship. 7 Andre Livingston has crashed apparently, but they were so far ahead of the rest of Pro that I think he's fine. Right. This fight seems like it's resolved itself as well. And Carsten tries to give it his best, but it is of no avail. And no last minute overtakes either. And there he goes, Carsten takes ninth in a very good fight at the end of the race. He's going to be well happy with that. Nick Bachmann closing out the position behind. Jan-Viggo Larsen takes Pro-Am win. Rick Minnersley behind. There he goes. Ken Bucken, I believe, just trying to get the leader in shot here for Am. That is the Ferrari behind of Anthony Young. Second place in Am. And he's not had much of a reply. He got as close as he could for a little while, but just ran out of energy. And there we go. I think that is it, really. We've got a few more cars and stragglers running across the line. Leandro Gabrielsen, after his pit lane start, he's managed to keep it going. Christopher Newby is a lap down. Still in a fight with Steve Ewing, I believe. Yeah. So, very close running. Same lap here. And that rounds out the top 6. And indeed, I believe, everybody on track.
Good job, Christopher. That was fun.
Oh, he sounds pleased and he sounds happy. Right. Is that everyone on track? We've got
Old man couldn't catch you, Christopher. Good job.
I believe that's Paul Fanning just teleporting to the pits at the end there. So I think that should be everyone. Right. I've ran out of cars on track. So that is pretty much the results. Just waiting for timer to tick over and give us the chance to bring up the results page for everyone else. And if it decides to not do that, then I will be going through the classes myself. Right. Right. It's decided not to play ball, so I will just be cutting through myself. Nikolai Mjeld takes P1 in Pro after a very good run. Rich Warmingham gave the best he had, but alas, was not able to get past the insane pace, just gradually losing time to the overall leader here. Otto Itala managed to gain 2 positions. Simon Andre Livingston did start on the last step of the podium, but just managed to lose out towards the end of the race. Harry Parala, Adam Wilson-Ware, Aaron Broderick, Tommy Kallio Kujala, Carsten Havdal with the fight right at the end, Derek Lynch, and Mick Bachmann as well. And that was P11 there for Mick. Quite involved there with the Pro-Am fight for a little while. James Braid in P12, and then I believe we start getting down to people that are getting lapped in Pro. So Steve DeRose, Leander Gabrielsen, Robert Horn, Tony, and Alan did not manage to finish the race. Right, in silver, Jan-Viggo Larsen takes the win through a very good fight with Wayne for a little while, who then had to settle for P4. Rick Binnersley and Anders Utvik ran at the podium. Jamie Loke, Danny Gold, Peter Black, Yari, Lou Majoki, Marcus Neal, Nathan Harris, Paul Fanning, Morton Dale, Julian Mink, and Steve Rubino. The last 3 managing to not finish the race. And then in bronze, right at the end, the results page does manage to work. So let's give them the proper view here. Ken Bucken taking the win from a much more closely fought Am win compared to last week at Road America over Anthony Young. And then we've got the rest of bronze managing to finish a lap down, which does seem quite surprising, but I think there were just so many incidents towards the back of the field. Gregory Scheimer, Richard Curry, Christopher Newby, Steve Ewing, and then Curtis Krumel and Darren J. Reynolds not managing to finish the race. Right. I believe that is everything. So, I've been your host. Lowell ran out of field just before line, just made it. Ah, lovely. I believe that's Ken Backen as well. Yeah, congratulations on your win. Great race. And then if we bring up our league details, we can see for our championships, we've got the following rounds left. So after Monza, we've got Interlagos next week. And hopefully there should be some very good action coming up. I've been your host, Ettore, here on SimSpec Media, and I hope to see you guys for next week. Cheers, everyone.